Hi, my name is Joshua Hunter, and I'm here to help you stretch today. First of all, thank you for all the work that you've been doing. It's been a weird time, and yeah, I've been on the front line, so I really appreciate that. We all really appreciate you and what you're doing. And to help you appreciate that, I'm gonna help loosen you up a little bit, give you a little bit of recovery from all that you've been doing. So we got about a half-hour stretch session. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with some squats today. So just dropping into a nice low squat, however low you can go. If this is all you can do, that's fine. We're just kind of getting some blood flow going to the legs, getting the knees, ankles, and hips nice and warmed up. If you have more range of motion, you can go ass to grass, as long as your body doesn't have to curl up in order to do that. We're gonna keep a nice neutral spine as you drop into your squat. Keep going. I'm gonna lower my camera just a little bit. There we go. Welcome to my home. Thank you for coming in today also. Yeah. As you stand, let's take a twist. So I'm just gonna open up through the chest and shoulder, and then as I twist away from your right hip, you should feel a little bit of opening through that hip. Same thing across the other side. Let's do one more. And then we're gonna pry your squat open a little bit. So let's get down into your squat. Again, if you're up here, that's fine. If you can get lower, get lower. We're gonna take the elbows and drive the knees out. So again, keep going. If you have to be rounded over here, come up high enough where you can keep your back nice and neutral. We wanna keep the spine neutral as we go into the squat. Now I'm gonna just wiggle back and forth, kind of opening and closing the ankle joint. Just kind of wiggling around the ankles as I sit and pry this squat open a bit. And we're just gonna hang out here for a second. Good, from here, let's go fingers under the toes. Take your hips up and the top of your head towards the floor. Good, bring it back down into a squat. And then take the hands overhead into a Y. If you have more range of motion, they'll be here. If you don't, take them wider. And stand up. Let's do it again. Down into your squat, fingers under your toes, hips up. Give it a little twerk or something if you need to. You know what I'm saying? Twerk something. Bring it back down into your squat. Hands up. Stand up. Let's do 3 more of those, yeah? Again, we're just kind of warming you up, doing some dynamic stretching to start this movement routine out. We'll get into some static stretching in a bit, but dynamic stretching kind of really helps your joints and muscles warm up before we start tugging on them too much. Let's do one more. Down into your squat, hips up, drop your head. Back down into your squat. Let's go hands up, stand up. Good. Then you're gonna go arms out to the side. Little circles to start with. Just little circles forward. Make sure you're squeezing your shoulder blades and your shoulders are backing down rather than this. Okay. Grow them a little bit bigger. Bigger still. And then as large as you can take them. Let's take it back the other way. Little circles back, little circles back, little circles back. Start growing a little bigger. Bigger still. And as large as you can make them. Good, give yourself a pat on the back. We're gonna take your left hand up, right hand down, and I'm going to push back and then switch. Push back and then switch. Try to resist this. Keep your abs turned on, pushing back. Let's speed it up a little bit, going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. From there, step back into a lunge. Sweep your arms up and back, and then switch. Nice lunge, taking the arms up next to the head. Now, as best you can, keep going. As best you can, try to resist tipping the hips forward and getting in this position. All right, think about tucking your tail under a bit and even pulling your ribs down a bit as you sweep up. If you have more range of motion, feel free to come down into the lunge, dropping the back knee a little bit closer to the floor as you drop into this. But again, think about keeping your tail tucked under, trying to keep the pelvis neutral. Next lunge up, grasp the hands together, bend towards your front knee. Whatever knee you have out front, bend that way. Biceps to ears, bend it towards your front knee. Let's go 2 more per side. One more each side. Good. Now that we've got you warmed up a bit, let's open up the hips a little bit. So just drop to your back knee. A lot of times if we're sitting or just generally, we get a lot of tight hips because most of us sit too much. So let's go ahead and think about using your hip extensors, your glutes, to extend your hip. We're going to open up through the front of this hip. Hips are tucked under. Now, what I'm going to do is start by rocking this knee forward. This front knee is going to pull the back hip with it. So all we're doing is rocking forward and back. As you rock forward, you may feel a stretch out here through the TFL, the tensor fascia lata, and you may feel a little bit in through the adductors in the groin area. Whatever works for you, wherever your body needs it, it's probably where you feel it. So again, just rocking forward, prioritizing pelvic position. Think about keeping the hips tucked under, because when I tilt my hips forward, there's not much of a stretch here. I can hang out in that all day. But from here, as I tuck under, brings that stretch right in there. Now, next, as we rock forward, I'm going to reach up and away. Rock forward and reach away. Inhaling as you come back. Exhaling as you rock forward. If you'd like a little more, when you reach up, you're going to lean away from that backside, just like we did with the lunge. But this time we're resting through the back knee, really opening up here, and then pulling from the obliques up to the lats, away, pulling that whole fascial line. Two more. One more. Good. Let's switch sides. Same thing, other side. Let's go ahead. We're gonna rock this knee forward, keeping the hip tucked under. Just start by rocking back and forth. For me, this side's pretty stiff. I'm not getting much movement, but I'm getting a lot of stretching. I'm getting a lot of activation in these muscles. So that's good. It's not always about how far you move, it's how effective that movement is. I know we get into like yoga classes and we see somebody else doing some crazy shit, you're like, I want to do that too. But it's not necessarily how much you can move, it's how it's affecting your body. So really pay attention to how you feel in this. Pay attention to your pelvic position. If you'd like, we can add the arm, just reaching up and away. As we go today, I like to think about stretching kind of like just regular exercise or strength training. Some days you're stronger than others. Some days you're more flexible than others. You may be feeling super good and bendy today. You may be stiff as a rock and just nothing's moving. Take the expectation out of what you think your body should do today and just be with your body as we go through this. Take it up, lean it to the side. Allow your body the space to move. If it wants to take it, it might take it. If not, that's okay too. If you're stressed, which I know many of you are, especially this time, your body will hold on to more tension, so you may be a bit stiffer than normal. Allow that. Don't try to expect your body to be in a normal working position. Hold space for your body to be stiff, hold space for it to be tight, and then allow it the opportunity to move. Let's do one more. And if it wants to take it, it will. Let's switch back. So I'm back on my knee, original knee. We're gonna go down into a deep lunge. So I'm gonna try to get my left shoulder inside my left knee. I'm gonna take this back leg up. So I'm in this deep lunge position. Trying to make sure I got the right camera angle for you guys. We're gonna take some twists from here. So my left knee is forward. I'm gonna breathe in, bringing my left hand to the right shoulder. Breathe out and drop that inside elbow. Breathe back up to neutral. Exhale. Twist to the ceiling. Let's do that again. Bring it to the middle. Exhale it down. Breathe it back up. Exhale it open. Now you can either keep that back leg hovering or you can drop the back knee to the floor. Completely up to you. Whatever feels better for you. Or whatever feels like it's accomplishing more. Let's do one more down and up. From here, let's place the hands to the floor and push that back leg to a straighter position. It may not be completely straight, but to a straight-ish position. If you're not very flexible, you may be up here, and this is all you can do. If you have a bit more flexibility, you may be able to come down here and hang out. It's all about, again, relating it to strength training. Some people are stronger than others. Some are more flexible. It's not bad or good. You're just at different points in your fitness, or just have different bodies. So again, take the expectations out of it and see what your body will allow for movement today. Point and flex that foot as you flex the toes up towards the shin. Should feel a nice pull through the back of the hamstring and calf. And let's come on up. From here, I'm gonna take a trunk rotation, bringing my right hand towards my long left leg, and then I'm gonna start to lean, reaching for my toes. For me, I ain't got shit. I can't reach my toes in this position, from this rotated position. But some people can. So go where you can go. This is a great example of go where you can go, because most of y'all are probably more flexible than me at this one. But really turning your chest towards that left side. Good, let's bring it back to the middle. Bend the front knee, hands to the floor. We're gonna step back to a downward dog. So I'm gonna step my foot back, push, keeping my legs straight, pushing the heels towards the floor, pushing my fingertips up and away from me. Armpits are pressing in towards the floor. We're hanging out here for just a sec. And then come back to your tall plank and step your other foot up. My right foot, maybe your left. Not sure how you're rocking it. So again, we can start with the elevated back knee, or you can bring the back knee down. I'm gonna inhale the hand to the shoulder. Exhale the elbow towards the floor. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale towards the ceiling. Breathing it back to the middle. Exhaling it down. Let's do one more each way. Oh, goodness gracious. Good. Let's go ahead and straighten that front leg out. Remember, you could be here, you could be up here. Doesn't matter. It's wherever your body allows today. If you do want more, you can think about bringing your chest forward towards your leg Oh, and we can point and flex that ankle. Oh goodness. That's spicy. Oh, that is spicy. Oh yeah. Oh, good. Let's bring it on up. Again, reaching across and then sliding down if you can. Reaching for your toes. You may be like me and you're not getting very far. Again, that's okay. Some days are better than others, some days are just different than others. I find that often when you leave your expectations out of it, you come out with a pretty good workout or a pretty good stretch session every time, because there's no judgment on it. You just let it be what it is today. Oh, good. Let's loosen the hips up a little bit more. So we're gonna go into a frog stretch. What I want to try to do is get basically the arches of my feet facing the floor, and my knees are as wide as I want to take them. If this gets too aggressive for you at the inner thigh and the hip, bring your knees a little closer together. So what we're gonna do is from this position, I'm gonna sit my butt back towards my heels. And again, if this is too aggressive for you, feel free to sit on your shoelaces, sit on the top of your feet. I got quite a bit more range of motion here, and this is a lot more comfortable for me, but it is less of a stretch than, oh, this shit. Oh, yeah. Ooh, mama. Aye. So sometimes what I'll do, where's my roller at? Here we go. Is I'll put a foam roller or a yoga block underneath my butt, and I can kind of sit. I don't have to, my butt's not like hanging in the air and really stretching the whole time. So this gives me a little bit of relief. All right, that's enough of that shit. Let's go ahead and bring the elbows down to the floor. From here, I'm gonna push my hips in towards the floor. I think I disappeared on you. There you go. Pushing the hips in towards the floor, knees stay splayed apart, feet turned out. I'm thinking about really tucking my hips under on this. Almost a posterior pelvic tilt, if you can have access to that, and then just hang out here. On your next inhale, let's bring it back up, and then we're gonna rock back into the hips again, back into our frog stretch. Ooh-yah. Ooh, good, let's take it forward again. Good, let's bring it back up. Oh. I was screwing with my music. I think I lost track of what I was doing. Let's bring it back up to a seated. So from here, this has gotten quite a bit more comfortable for me. What I can do is I'll take my hand on either side of this leg, and I'll take my chest forward. And then walk it over to the other side. Really trying to lean into that hip. Good, and we're gonna take it back forward. And I'm gonna take turns pushing my left hip and my right hip to the floor. So I'm just kind of really squeezing my left cheek, kind of squeezing my butt on that side and squeezing my butt on the other. Just reaching side to side. Good. From this position, let's take the body straight to the floor. Get your foam roller out of the way. Yeah. Let's go into a scorpion stretch. So your hands are going to be out wide. And I'm going to look to my left, and I'm going to take my right foot and reach it over to the left. Breathe back in the middle. Turn towards the way you're kicking. And then kick that foot out. And we're just switching back and forth. So as I kick with my right foot, I want to keep my right shoulder down. So try not to let your right shoulder raise up. Keep your chest flush with the floor as you reach back and forth with this one. So again, try not to let this come up. It's a different stretch. It's going to be more through the chest and shoulders. We're really going for thoracic spine, a little bit of lumbar spine. Breathe in the middle and let the air out. Let's go ahead and bring it back to the middle. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Squeeze your butt, lock your legs out. Take a big breath in. Exhale and push up. Inhale back down. Exhale it up. I'm keeping my glutes squeezed because when I keep them relaxed, I can push all the way up. But I want my hips right on the floor. Getting that movement through the spine. On your next one, let's come up to hands and knees. So let's start off here with our knees together, and I'm just gonna sit my butt out to the left and then sink it out to the right. So again, knees are together. I'm gonna go out to your right, and then out to my right. As I go to your right, I'm taking my shoulders over to your left. As I go out to my right, I'm taking my shoulders out to my left. If you want a little bit more, as you go out to your right, take your right arm across. As you go out to your left, take your left arm across. This next one, let's hang out here for about 10-15 seconds. Just sinking your hips towards the floor. If you're out to your right, take your right arm across your body. Reach away from that right hip. Go ahead, bring it back up. Let's switch sides. Oh, yeah. Good. Let's come on up to hands and knees, feet, knees about shoulder width apart. We're going to go into some cat and cows. So I want you to tuck your chin to your chest, and if you had a tail, you'd be tucking your tail between your legs. Push away, spreading your shoulder blades apart, and then arching up through the back. Good. Now let's bring the head up. Bring your tail up, and let's pull the shoulder blades back and together, sinking your chest and stomach towards the floor. Let's reverse it. Inhaling in the middle. Exhale and tuck everything up. Hips under, chin under. Spread the shoulder blades, pushing hard into the floor. Then reverse it. Pull your shoulder blades back and together. Tail up, chin up. Nice exhale again. Inhale in the middle. Exhale up. Inhale in the middle. Exhale down. We're going through flexion. And extension of the spine. Let's come back to neutral. I'd like a couple scat push-ups. So I'm gonna let my shoulder blades sink back and together. Try not to let them come to the ears. Keep them pulled back towards your butt. And then spread your shoulder blades apart, pushing out and away, using the serratus muscles to press away, and then pulling back and down. Now this movement's all from my shoulder blades. I'm not doing the neck and the butt and all that stuff. Good. Let's get those shoulders moving. Oh yeah. Now from here, we're gonna do a little bit of side bending. So I'm gonna think about squeezing my left hip up towards my left rib and bring my ribs down to the side. Breathe in the middle, squeeze the other way, opening this side. We're going for some lateral flexion and extension of the spine. Good. Now as you come back, again, I'm over to my left. I'm gonna push up into cat, still squeezing to the left. Still staying up into cat, I'm gonna squeeze over to the right, opening up that left side. And then I'm gonna pull down into cow. Staying pulled down into cow, squeeze back to your left, press it up, squeeze to your right, pull it down. I almost picture this like my spine is a jump rope, like a big two-person jump rope. Taking it up and around. Moving the neck, moving the hips. As you go through this. Now pause and reverse directions. Taking it down, squeezing to the right, pushing it up, squeezing to the left. We're just taking that jump rope the other way around. If you're doing this with a partner, maybe y'all can hit some double dutch. My mama said your mama is I don't know. We do that shit back in the day. Good. Let's come down into called a bear sit position. Feet are nice and wide. From here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tip my knees out to your left. Oh, when you get stuck, so this knee is stuck, then I will release the left butt cheek off the floor until I get to what we call a 90-90 position. 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here. See if you can get a 90-degree angle here also at the hip. Now, ideally, with good range of motion, this is my right leg, my right butt cheek should be on the floor, ideally. It is not. It's hovering off the floor a little bit. So I'm just gonna start off rocking back and forth, trying to get that right butt cheek to the floor. Now, if you're already, keep going, we're just gonna rock back and forth. If you're already good in this position, and you're like, dude, this is doing nothing, bring the hands off the floor. So again, ideally, your both butt cheeks are here and your hips and chest are forward. Now, if you're there and you're fine, you're like, this still ain't shit, start to take a reach over towards that back leg. Just really, ugh. But for the rest of us, we're just gonna hang out here, rocking back and forth on that hip. Let's take it across to the other side. Level 1, keep your hands on the floor, take it across. If you're a bit more advanced, think about pulling this knee up off the floor, getting back to our bear sit position, and then rotating across, pulling with your muscles, not your hand, pulling this knee down. And we're back into a 90-90 on the other side. Like for me, I've got a bit better range of motion on this one, so I can sit up nice and straight. This hip is closer to the floor. My hips are still twisted to the side. Ideally, I could get into a neutral pelvis where the pelvis is facing forward. That would require a bit more internal rotation of that back hip, which we are working on. Yes. Again, get your rock on, rocking back and forth. If you need to be on the hand here, otherwise. And I'll kind of do a little bit of manual palpation of the TFL. You should feel this in your tensor fasciolatus and through the adductors and groin area too. Good, let's take it across again using your imaginary marionette string. Pull with your muscles, pulling up, and then we're across. Again, get a little rock in there. And then let's take it across. spicy. Okay, to the other side. Now we are at 30 minutes. I know this is supposed to be a 30-minute video, but there's a really dope thoracic rotation stretch that I really want to do with you. So we're gonna go about 35 minutes today. So from this 90-90 position, my knees are pointing to the right. I'm gonna bring my right hand to the floor. From here, taking a breath in, I'm gonna try to duck and dive that bottom arm through. Inhale back up and I'm just really trying to get some rotation through the T-spine. As I inhale, this is gonna expand the balloon of my lungs. I'm gonna create some room for that expansion, then I'm going to unwind it. Each time, I'm making a mental mark on the floor, trying to reach this little curl on the floor. As I come back up, I try to go just a half a centimeter past that last mark. Even a millimeter, just a little bit past the mark that you made the time before. Not forcing it, but really allowing for a little bit more bend every time, if it's there today. On your next exhale, reach it under and take this planted arm and bring that elbow to the floor. Now, from this position, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing, but this time I'm gonna reach up overhead, bringing, this is my moving arm is my left side, bringing my left side chest down towards the floor. Breathing up high. Next one, nice big exhale and hang out there for a sec. Reaching that long arm away, reaching that armpit and chest towards the floor. Good, let's bring it back up. You're back up to your 90-90 position. And guess what we're doing? Taking it back over to the other side. From here, we're planting this back arm, breathing at the top, diving it under. Breathe it back in, dive it under. Again, using my breath to allow me to relax with each exhale. On your next exhale, let's bring that back elbow to the floor. And I'm going to start taking that arm up overhead. Really reaching that chest and that armpit towards the floor as you rotate through the T-spine. Two more. On this last one, let's hang out there. Just cooling out, allowing your body the space to relax and to stretch. Well, that is it for today. Again, I'd like to thank you for all the work that you're doing and for joining me for this today. Appreciate you very much. The Fitness Hunter is my Instagram. I'm doing these stretching videos weekly or more, a couple times a week on my Instagrams, all free stuff. Come log in, come holler at me. I appreciate everything you're doing. Keep at it.